Welcome back to Roughin' It.
New York City. One word. Energy. A natural location for a great city because of the harbor and Central Island, the city's 5 boroughs are highly accessible. To get to Manhattan, you can go on the water, over the water, or under the water. New York was literally founded by a giant corporation, the Dutch West India Company. And when I say giant, I mean the business had its own military. The city was established for one purpose and one purpose only: to make money. The same commerce-driven, competitive, wealth-seeking, hustle and bustle that has characterized New York City has been there for close to 400 years. It has a tumultuous history that goes with that energy. Even at its inception, no colonist from any country speaking any language was turned away because that would be bad for business. That same driving commercial culture is one of the reasons so many different people could come together in one place. All the disparate human elements thrown together is a great experiment in the human condition. Much of the city's success in tolerance has been driven by the dollar, euro, pound, and yen. But that's not all that unites them. New York is not just a capitalist city. It is an intellectual, literary, and artistic hub, producing many great contributors. Poet Walt Whitman summed up this laboratory of human interaction with, "There is no place like it, no place with an atom of its glory, pride, and exultancy." You can spend a lifetime in New York City and never cease to be amazed. It is in constant flux and change. And that's just out on the streets. Under the ground, the city moves.
Tip number 1, get a Metro card for the subway.
If Times Square is the heart of the city, the subway is the vascular system. Chief among the transit hubs is the elegantly designed Oculus, where the World Trade Center had been. It serves as a plaza, shopping mall, train station, and memorial for the 9/11 victims. You can bring pets on the subway if they are in a carrier. Passengers have gotten creative. Included in the building complex is the One World Trade Center, or Freedom Tower as it's also known. Commissioned to replace the Twin Towers, it is the tallest building in the United States. Grand Central Terminal is worth the visit even if you're not intending to ride any trains. It's been well photographed, well documented, and it is worth seeing. It's beautiful.
Tip number 2, be aware of your surroundings. Even though New York City is the safest big city in the United States, you always want to have some level of awareness in a city.
We'll get back to the topic of awareness and safety later.
Tip number 3, with that awareness, don't cause a traffic jam. And I'm not talking about with the car. New York City moves pretty fast. The foot traffic flows. So if you make a U-turn or go the other direction without warning, it interrupts the traffic.
There are other ways to get around too, but my favorite in New York is walking. Out on the streets, a rhythm pulses. The buildings tower, crowds dash, and it all seems so infinite until the car horns grow distant and you are in Central Park. At 840 acres, the park was designed to be more of a captured piece of nature, except not the natural nature of the place. Prior to design, the area was swampy, full of rocks and mud. Trees and plants couldn't grow in its soil. With a little dynamite and 10 million cubic yards of New Jersey topsoil, we pretty much have what we do today. All the lakes and ponds are manufactured by the city's water system. The park is famous with more than 400 films having shot there, and be it the layout, the people, or the activity, there's a romantic quality to it. A place meant as a respite from the pace of New York City life.
Schuyler found Central Park to be a great place to meet New Yorkers.
There isn't a New Yorker I've met who hasn't been grateful for Central Park. New York City can be an intimidating place, with the sun blotted out by towering skyscrapers and unceasing sounds. Embrace it. Embrace the noise and the intimidation and feel love.
Attitude is everything.
New Yorkers are the warmest and grittiest I've met. To live with that many people, you have to be a bit of both. I was told it's a city where you can reinvent yourself. Kurt Vonnegut wrote, "So I went to New York City to be born again." It's also a place where culture and food reign supreme. New York's most famous food, pizza, dates back to the Romans, and some historians say maybe the Neolithic age. Regardless of from whom or where it came, it is pervasive in the United States, existing both for the masses and for the purists. Great pizza is not hard to find in New York. This is where pizza in America began. The same Italian immigrants who brought pizza to America passed into Ellis Island before being greeted by Lady Liberty. More evidence of America's mixed cultural heritage, the Statue of Liberty was a gift from the French, now one of the greatest symbols of the nation. She was sculpted after the artist Spartoldi's mother, and there are 7 rays on the crown, one for each of the world's 7 continents. Originally the color of a shiny new penny, she is now patina with a green oxidized color. I like the green. She probably has more nicknames than any other statue in the world, including the name Statue of Liberty. The original name was Liberty Enlightening the World. She too reinvented herself here. Take the free Staten Island ferry to see her. Pets are allowed on certain decks. Washington Irving, author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle, practically invented reinvention with his fictional aristocratic lineage of knickerbockers that New York high society thought to be real. He also gave the city its nickname, Gotham. Irving served as president of the New York Public Library's Board of Trustees from 1848 until his death in 1859. Pass by the iconic lions, patience, and fortitude, and enter the main branch of the library. Inside is possibly New York's best art gallery, with paintings depicting the evolution of the written word from Greek mythology to the Bible to the printing press. The Metropolitan Museum of Art and the Natural History Museum are free if you're on a budget. If you're not, slip them a donation and keep the arts alive and well. The Temple of Dendur is a pretty phenomenal exhibit. Don't miss it. Different neighborhoods in Manhattan offer different ingredients that altogether set the flavor of the city. For instance, the brownstone walk-ups of Greenwich Village supply a charming, more cozy urban texture. Soho exudes art.
Tip number 4. With that Metro card, get out of Manhattan. There are 5 boroughs to New York City, and they're all very interesting.
I found some of the best food in New York to be in Queens. Cross the Brooklyn Bridge and you realize all of that amazing infrastructure, dedication to efficient transportation, and Yankee ingenuity also yield some of the most impressive bridges in the world. And all the while, the whole place is constantly shifting, growing, and developing. The way one neighborhood is today, it will be a different place tomorrow. It's impossible to capture New York. It's like grabbing at water in a moving river. It really is a city that doesn't sleep, with bars closing at 4 a.m., subway trains running 24 hours, and bodegas always open. There's something so special about New York City. This city that never sleeps. is massive but intimate. It will get to you in a way no other place will. For me, it's a favorite in the nation, a place I will return to again and again. Join us for a special episode with a special guest next time.